So in this video, we're going to go over how to connect your Metapixel so that you can make sure it's only firing on qualified bookings only. So this is why the direct integration matters. So if you're sending ads straight to a direct booking link, of course, you do not have your website pixel on that link, which means you're not going to have any visibility because the scheduler links from your ads bypass your website entirely. Now, if you use our integration, this is going to solve that blind spot. I don't always recommend using direct links straight from ads. It's better to have your scheduler embedded on a funnel where you also have your pixel. But just a quick note here, you don't want to be tracking the same events from your website pixel that you are also tracking through your iClosed pixel integration, because then you're going to end up with duplicate events being tracked. We also have the conversion API integration as well. This is going to give you server to server tracking so that you can make sure that the events are being tracked even when browsers are blocking the cookies. And this is going to give you reliable data that you can trust. So this is how you configure the fields. Of course, you're just going to add your pixel name, you're going to add your pixel ID, and then if you have the conversion API token, you can add that as well so you can have the server to server tracking. And if you're on startup, you can add 1 pixel, but if you're on business or enterprise, you can add up to 3 pixels. And then so once your pixel is added, you're simply going to choose the different triggers. So there's page view. This is obviously when the scheduler page gets viewed. There's a potential lead. This is when somebody started the form but they didn't finish. A qualified lead means they've passed the disqualification questions. Disqualified means they failed based on one of the disqualification criteria. And then obviously call booked means they were qualified and actually booked. You want your pixel to only fire on call booked, meaning these are only qualified leads who actually went through and booked an appointment. Once you have your trigger set, you obviously want to just test your pixel to make sure that it's working. You can use the Pixel Helper Chrome extension and use the test pixel button within the iClosed dashboard. From there, you'll be able to see the recent trigger activity log. You can see which events fired successfully, and you can see which leads triggered which event. And from this point on forward, your pixel is going to be optimized on qualified bookings only. And ideally, you have the conversion API enabled, giving you the most accurate data. You've tested it, you've verified that it works. And now you're going to be using the same ad spend, but you're going to be training it on 100% qualified data, which is going to result in a lower cost per acquisition, a higher return on ad spend, and more revenue per booking. Now Meta is optimizing for buyers and not just people who book. So we're going to head over to iClosed. You're going to click on integrations. You're going to click on Metapixel. So if you haven't already, you can go ahead and click on integrate now. You paste in your pixel name, the pixel ID, click enable Meta Conversions API, paste in your API token, and then hit save changes. And then once your pixel is connected, you just head over here. And this is where you can configure the trigger events. And I recommend that you guys track the qualified and the call booked. These are the events that are going to be sent back to Meta. And ideally, the campaign is optimizing for calls booked. Of course, if they've booked a call, they're qualified. These are the people that you want to find more of. You can still send the qualified events back to Meta. This is essentially a qualified lead. So this is good data to still see within your ads manager, but the campaign should be optimizing to find more calls booked. And then from here, you can see the recent trigger activity. So you can see here, there was 3 total triggers for potential, 4 for page view, 1 for a qualified, and 1 for a call booked. And then if you want to test the pixel, you just click these 3 dots here, click test pixel, select the event, and then hit test. This is going to open up your scheduler in a new tab where you can test it. Go ahead and put in your details, fill out the form, hit continue, and then we can book the call. And then here you can see the Metapixel was triggered. And now we can see that we actually have 2 qualified leads and 2 calls booked. So we can verify that the test is working, that the triggers are properly being sent back to Meta. So with that, your Metapixel is now set up. You've tested it. You've verified that the trigger events are being properly sent back to Meta. And I will see you guys in the next video where we will go over how to connect and integrate your Google Tag Manager.